Welcome to
She Talks,
He Nods. We're your hosts, and we're back again with audio only this week.
And I'm Kris. You usually say, I'm Maegan. I'm Kris. And yes, we are back, audio only.
And I'm Maegan. No one said we were professionals at this, guys. But this is going to be pretty, what do they say? What do they call it when it's like not really edited at all? Like it's, is it raw? No, that's not the right word, is it?
Could be raw.
This is going to be raw.
Quick and raw.
I do have to somehow put this together in, let's see, it's 8:30. I want to be in bed by 10:30. So we got to record and get it uploaded in 2 hours.
All right. Easy work. No mistakes.
Off to a good start. All right. So we are audio only, though, this week because we, again, had a weekend where we went
to Storybook Land.
Yeah, we went camping. You're supposed to say camping.
Camping at Storybook Land.
Yeah. Storybook Land's a really cool place. It's like fairy tale characters and nursery rhymes. And like these are statues, though, old school statues and some rides and fun things.
Super old school statues.
I love it. And you follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah.
So it has like a whole Oz section. So it was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
But it was a quick turnaround trip. So it was fast and we didn't get to stay as long as we wanted to, but we still made it there. And what was the main reason, though, that we chose Storybook Land to go?
It's in the town where my dad lives, and my dad is in rough mental and physical shape right now. And his phone was off or disconnected or didn't have minutes. And we couldn't get a hold of him. So we went there so we could check on him.
Yeah. We had to do a welfare check about, what was that, 3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
About 3 weeks ago. And it's just, that's a sucky feeling to sit there and think, okay, I haven't heard from, a family member, a close family member, a parent in, over a month. And then, we had texted and, it's okay. It's normal sometimes to not get a response. But I told Kris, I was like, you need to call. And whenever you called and it went straight to voicemail, I was like, well, that's makes me nervous. So we just called the local police department and had them go do a welfare check. And he was there. He wasn't doing the best, but he had lost his phone and all of his contacts. So he could, even though he had a new phone, he couldn't even reach us. He didn't know our numbers. So we got our number from the police there. He got our number and we checked on him about 3 weeks ago. And then last week we texted and we got no response, which, was weird at this point because he knew we were planning to come at some point. And so we just continued our trip. But then on the way there, we called and his phone was, what was it even saying?
It was basically saying like, this number is not accepting calls or whatever, which felt to me like a telemarketer blocker. Because we do have Kentucky area codes, so we could be deemed a telemarketer or robocall or whatever. So we were like, well, guess we're just going to have to go knock on his apartment door.
Yeah. And we did.
And he was in rough shape.
Yeah.
Skin and bones, confused, could barely breathe from AFib and other problems. Has, a bunch of medicine that he's supposed to be taking, but he doesn't know what to be taking, so he hasn't taken anything.
Had no food. Fridge was completely empty.
Zero food in the apartment. Yeah.
So we did that check, and we had a quick little trip, though, with the kids still at Storybook Land and did some fun things. And we kind of checked on him when we first got there, and then we checked on our way out of town. So at that point, we decided it's time to make some moves and do some things and kind of, I guess, take care of him in a little bit, in a sense. And kind of it's a little bit about what we're talking about in this episode a little bit, because that's just relevant to our life right now. And it's just important, I think, to show our kids. And maybe it's not for everyone, but I know for, Kris and I, we've always felt like we're the kids that will take care of our parents if that ever comes to. And right now we have one of our parents that's in need. So we're stepping up and we're going to do everything we can to get him in good health. And we're going to move him to Bismarck and a lot of other things that are needed. And it's just really important, I think, to do that, when someone's in need, if you're able and can.
Yeah. I mean, if we ever find ourselves in that position, we certainly hope we have people in our lives that would help us as well. And you just try not to overlook that and try not to be selfish. And if somebody that you love needs help, you help them, even if it's a big inconvenience and takes a big stress and strain, you at least start the process and see what you can accomplish.
When it comes to our current situation, what are a couple of things, like what's our plan so that we're able to take care of your dad? We didn't really give much relevance of where Storybook Land is and where the town your dad lives in. So, what are we doing? What is our plan to help your dad, and kind of just to show, what we're doing?
Well, he lives 3 hours away. That's where Storybook Land is. So I guess the plan is essentially, because in that town, Aberdeen, he has absolutely nobody there to help him, to check on him, and he needs a lot of help right now.
Mm-hmm.
He needs help remembering. He needs help financially. I mean, he needs help understanding finances, essentially. Doesn't just need money. He needs to learn how to use his money wisely. So we're just starting with getting him close to us so that we can babysit, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, we just have to, there's a lot of stuff that I just have to hold his hand through and show him how to do this. And even though I'm saying that, and that's what I plan on doing, I'm not expecting him to really learn anything, because he's an old dog and he's been this way for a long time.
Yeah.
And there's, it's not just going to click in his head and he's not going to just say, oh, I see. So I know it's going to be an ongoing battle. Yeah. And that's why I need him here, because I can't do any of that from 3 hours away.
Yeah, it's too hard with our schedules and our busy lives as is.
Yeah.
So the next couple of weeks will be pretty busy too. I'm already, I started looking for apartments for him here in Bismarck yesterday, trying to find something that he can get into quick, keep his cat, and just be close to us so we can check on him, and also just to have him around more. I know he has had trouble in the past getting to even special occasions because he can't drive at night. So, he would drive 3 hours to be here, 1 hour to drive 3 hours back. And even if we don't see him as much, but just to have him here for him to be a part of our special occasions is even, I think, great for not only us, but for him to just have people who love him in his life and not just so-called friends. I say so-called friends because I don't really think he really truly has anyone in Aberdeen.
I don't think so.
So just having us, I think, will be better for him to not be so lonely.
Yeah. For sure.
And I think that's important.
Yep.
So the main kind of concept is just talking about helping family, helping others, and how important that is with life. And, it's funny. We've had this conversation a little bit before about how it feels like today's generation is more me, right? And that's kind of a tough mentality, because yes, you are important. Like, yourself is important. You should take care of yourself, and self-care and self-preservation and all that. But I think so often today we forget how important it is to help others and how fulfilling it is if we don't put ourselves first. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's true. And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I used to be much more helpful when I was a young adult. I'm still, to my friends, like, I'll always be helpful to my friends. If anybody ever needs me for anything, no matter the inconvenience, if they're like, hey, can you help me move? And I know I've got stuff going on. I'm like, yep. I know you need help on this time at this day. Yep, I'll help you. I'll figure my other stuff out. I'm always happy to do that, even though I know I get a lot of pushback from you too.
Sometimes.
Because it's like, yeah, well, we got this going on and this going on. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I got a friend that needs me, So it's hard.
There we go. I'm guilty of it too. Right. I think we all are guilty of it. But I think we all need more helping.
For sure. And over the years, what I was saying was, I've just become less and less helpful of just, strangers. You see, you can't go anywhere in a relatively big town and not see somebody that needs help in some capacity. And I'm not talking about holding a door open for somebody, or if you see that they dropped something, you pick it up and say, oh, you dropped this here.
But let's talk about that, because that is also such a common courtesy I see that has went away so much. Maybe. I witness that all the time with doors. I witness with our own children. And I'm like, guys, if you're the first to the door, you hold it for everyone that's in the line behind you. And then if someone holds the door for you, you are thankful for it. And you say thank you. But I've seen a lot of people drop things and people walk right by like they didn't see it. And I think that's wild.
I think that is pretty crazy too. But there's a saying, and I know I'm not going to get it right, but it's something to the degree of you can't blame, you can't put malice on something that could also be like ignorance, or not necessarily ignorance, but like if somebody cuts you off in traffic or whatever, they could have cut you off because they saw you, know you, and dislike you and wanted to upset you, or they're just living their own life, made a mistake driving, which people make mistakes all the time, misjudged the distance, misjudged your speed, and there was absolutely no malice to it whatsoever, but you're throwing a finger up at them, honking your horn, like stuff like that occurs all the time, like not holding a door for somebody. If you think like, how did this person not see me? Like we looked at each other and they knew I was coming in like 1 second behind them. Why wouldn't they just hold the door for me? They're so rude, when actually they're just in their own world.
But see, that's my point. So many of today's people are just in their own world.
Yes.
Only them. Me, I. They're not looking around them. They're not thinking of the other people that they're affecting. And I think that is the wrong mentality to have. It's becoming too common and normal that is a mentality. And I just wanted to say really quick about the car thing. So I think I had seen something the other day and I loved this perspective, and it's all a mindset. If you're always it's a mindset. If someone cuts you off in traffic, you essentially have to think they must have an emergency. They must really need to go to the bathroom. And then you're going to have a better attitude about it. Like, oh, it's okay. They must really need to go. Or if you have that attitude, then your day is going to be better. Yeah. If you have the attitude of that person's out to get me, that person did that, and they suck at driving, and I'm so much better. Well, your mindset is killing yourself.
Yeah,
and
nobody's out to get you.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's just living their own life.
But when we live life for others, is like kind of my whole point. Is that I feel like so many people don't realize how fulfilling that is, because it's kind of a little more lost. I love whenever, like, think about when a neighbor moves in our neighborhood. I love that our girls are like, let's go make something for them. And they get fulfilled. Yeah, they might get one cookie or something, but they are getting fulfilled by bringing something to a stranger and giving it to them and seeing their joy. This person made me something. They thought of me, and that brought our kids joy. And it's as simple as that. But the best joy is the joy received from giving somebody else joy. And that's like the lost art that I'm talking about so often.
It is just good to be helpful. It's good to be helpful. But I mean, yeah, like what you're saying with, that's the problem nowadays, where people just aren't paying attention. They aren't
caring.
They aren't caring. I don't know if it's so much not caring, because it's not.
Well, they're sorry.
Because there's like no malice to any of it, Yes, they are wrapped up in their own world, but there's no malice to it, which I think is a problem, that they're so wrapped up in their world that they can't even notice that someone's behind them. But, you don't have to hold a door for somebody, but it just feels so strange to open a door knowing there's somebody 1 second behind you, and you just walk away and start letting it close and they have to grab it again. Yeah. It just is strange. Like, no, there's no rule that says you have to hold that door for somebody. And if you don't hold it, I don't necessarily think it makes you rude, but I think it is a strange thing to not have that thought of, I'm just going to inconvenience myself for just 1 second so that I can hold this door, make eye contact with somebody, smile at them, and then walk away. And that's it. That's the whole interaction. But you can't get butthurt if they just grab the door and they don't say thanks. And because then that's the person that would have not held the door open for you, but would have not been like, got him.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care about a kind gesture. But like the point we're trying to say is, you don't have to go out and like look for people to help, because opportunities are everywhere.
All the time.
There's opportunity everywhere. All you have to do is just be paying a little bit of attention to the world around you, which I don't know. I do. I pay attention to people that are around me, and I pay attention to what's happening around me, especially when I'm in public. And if somebody needs help that is within my capacity to help, like if I see a short person in Walmart and they're like, I see them looking up at a shelf, and I'm not tall, but to a short person, I'm a monster. Yeah. So if I see a short person like looking up at something on a shelf, I'll just go up to them and say, can I reach something for you? And then and usually they're just like, oh my God, yes. Thank you. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Here you go.
Yeah.
And I just go on with my day. And that was a nice thing to do. And it cost me nothing. It took me nothing. And it brought that person a huge amount of relief and joy.
Yeah.
That they didn't have to, because a lot of people, myself included, I cannot ask for help. I do not ask for help. I would have climbed that shelf before I would ask somebody for help. And I know I'm not the only one out there like that. And that is a fault of mine. I shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, you should be able to ask for help.
Yes, you should be able to ask for help. But I am way uncomfortable with asking for help. And I'm not exactly sure what that is. I don't know how to dig into that. But like, I just want to do things myself. And if someone offers me help, I'm thankful. And I generally will accept it. Maybe. Sometimes, I guess. I don't know. I'd have to really have a bunch of scenarios laid out. But for the most part, gosh, I don't know. If someone asks me for help, I honestly, my gut reaction is to say, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not good. I'm just like, no, don't worry about me. I got it. You don't have to inconvenience yourself. I got it. And then when they walk away, I'm like, all right, how am I going to do this?
Yeah, but you see that you're also stilling their joy a little bit, because they're offering you something.
That's true.
And they're maybe looking for their good deed. They're trying to fulfill something. They're trying to be helpful. And now you took away their opportunity to do something kind for somebody by just not accepting it.
See, yeah, it's strange, because I think the big driving motive behind me not wanting to accept help or ask for help is that I don't want to be an inconvenience. Mm-hmm. However, when anybody asks me for help, I never feel inconvenienced.
Yeah.
So that's a strange thing. Why I think that way.
Yeah. Let's talk about it real quick. Let's just say a funny story. So there are times when I feel like you shouldn't help. Let's talk about whenever you're a father to young children and you're letting complete strangers into your vehicle. Do you remember this story?
Yeah. I don't know why it helped.
It's okay to help because you're a helpful, kind person. But I think it's also important to help in a safe way. I think picking up a complete stranger off the side of the road when you're alone and unarmed.
I picked him up out on the subway. But all right, here's the story. All right. I mean,
you got to be safe in your helping.
And
Let's just say that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, it is a crazy thing. And I feel bad for people that, are drifters or whatever, that are going from town to town and trying to figure life out. Not necessarily somebody I would consider, obviously they are homeless. But when I say homeless, I think of the people that are like just sitting around downtown.
Lots of versions of homeless.
Right. I'm picturing like the kind that's like not even panhandling, they're just like homeless on the sidewalk, always there. This guy was in a subway. He had 2 giant duffel bags. I mean, giant. I lifted one. It was
what if there was bodies in there?
Could have been. I lifted one because not only did I give him a ride, I also loaded his bags into my vehicle. And I mean, it was like 100 pounds. And I'm lifting things at work that are 85, 90 pounds every single day. This thing was like 100 pounds. So, boy, I don't know who or what was in that bag. But anyway, I was just at Subway getting food. And this guy was like, hey, man, I need a phone charger. My phone's dead. Can you please give me a ride to Walmart to get a phone charger? And I was just like, I don't know why I just said, yeah, sure can. This is when we were living in Washburn, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was like, I guess, yeah.
You were so proud of the story. My first reaction when he told me was like, why would you do that? And he could have gunpoint shot you and stole your car.
Yeah, he could have. And I was proud because I helped.
Yes.
But
so still good deed, all the above, but be safe.
Yeah.
Have a buddy, have a gun for, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I regret that heavily. That was a funny deal. I took him to Walmart, dropped him off while all of his earthly possessions were in my vehicle while he went into Walmart. I could have hit him with the reverse Uno and said, psych, I got all your stuff, brother. And he trusted me too, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
you were just being a good guy.
Yeah. And so I took him to Walmart. He goes in, comes out 5 minutes later with a phone charger. Okay, check. Sounds good. And then he says, can you take me back to essentially where we were? Because that's where the bus station was, like right by that Subway. And he said, I've got a bus at this time. Can you take me back there? And I said, yeah. And I took him back to the bus there. And in my car at the time, I had like, in between my cup holders was like a compartment where I just always, like an open compartment where I just threw all my loose change. And it was like full of change. When we parked and I said, here you go, man. And he goes, hey, thanks a lot. And he looked down at my change and he said, "Hey, you mind if I take this?" And I said, "Nah, it's all yours, man. Go ahead." And he took every penny. He left me zero cents in there.
Yeah.
And he got his bags and we went our separate ways. And yeah, obviously it could have been bad, and I knew that. I think being nice goes a long way.
It does.
And maybe this guy was dangerous. And maybe this guy had other plans. And maybe I was just a nice, helpful guy. And I wasn't just like, fine, get in, and then say nothing to him, drive him to Walmart, say nothing on the way back. Like we talked, and maybe he was like, I can't gun this guy down and steal his car. This guy's all right. I'll get the next one. Maybe.
But no, help. But if you're helping strangers, just be safe. Have a buddy. Use the buddy system. Do it in the daylight hours, etc.
If you're a stranger, I'm not giving you a ride. Sorry. I've
not anymore.
I've hit my life quota of giving strangers rides from Subway. Maybe Jimmy John's. If I meet you at Jimmy John's and you need a ride, sure. But Subways are off limits.
Anyways, yeah, helping is good. I think that maybe I don't think we're some exceptional helpers, but I know, like, when it comes to family, more particularly your family, you have your mother and your aunt, who essentially we both moved here so we could help them. We moved them here because we wanted to help them, because we want to be there for them.
Yeah. I mean, we have helped my mom and aunt a lot because they are disabled and they need the help. And I think that's a big reason why I am such a natural helper, is that I grew up always accommodating these disabilities.
Yeah.
So like I've taught you how to communicate with them. Everybody that meets my mom and my aunt, nobody naturally understands how to communicate with them.
Yeah.
And they also, for whatever reason,
they don't correct anybody.
They don't correct anybody, and they don't teach them how to communicate. And I recognize that from a very young age. As soon as someone starts talking fast and I look at my mom and she's like, I can just see she's not hearing or understanding what they're saying, I just stop them and I say, talk slower and look at her and don't cover your mouth. She can't hear you.
Yeah, I've noticed that when I've taken her places and someone starts talking and she doesn't stop them. And I sometimes say she's hard of hearing. You need to look at her and speak where she can see your lips. She'll read your lips. And I've found that interesting that she doesn't correct them.
Yeah, a very strange thing. I know you're listening to this, Mom. Start correcting people.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I think that has kind of just trained me to be a natural helper. And you also are extremely helpful. And I'm very grateful for you, because you help my mom more than I do, because I'm at work all the time. And you absolutely have no obligation to be going out of your way and sacrificing your free time and all that. And you do. And some days with begrudgingly, but it's not like, this is the last time I'm doing this. I'm never doing this. Sometimes it's just like, this is a bad time.
And I know I could just say, not today.
Right.
But I don't know. It's something in me. I'm like, no, she needs my help. I can make it work. And that's one of my flaws, is sometimes putting too much on my plate. I do that a lot.
Yes.
And sometimes I need to just slow down and take it day by day. But I've always struggled with that. I've always multitasked myself to the point where I'm so stressed. I'm like, I don't have to be. I'm scheduling these things. I'm agreeing, and I can stop.
Right. And I think we balance each other well with that, because I do not like being over scheduled. I do not like there to be too many things on my plate. And as soon as there is, and I start to feel some level of overwhelm from it all, I start to cut so I can get out of that level of overwhelm. And I try to do that with you too, but you're our leader. So sometimes you push me into overwhelm, but I mean, we do counteract each other well with that.
Speaking of which, I need you to mow the yard this week.
I can't. I'm busy.
And that is the thing. Sometimes you'll be at work and I don't want to mow the yard. I like to mow and everything, but it has been a hot summer, and my goodness, it has just been hard to mow out there. But nonetheless, I'm not mowing this week, so you got to mow.
That's fine. I'll mow. I don't mind. I don't mind to mow either, but our yard takes like 2.5, 3 hours if you do it by yourself.
It takes 2 hours, not 3. It's 2 hours.
Well, I do a better job than her, and I take my time.
I'll be running with the lawnmower. It's not a self-propelled mower. I'm out here running in the backyard. I literally ran the last strips because I was so ready to be done.
I mean, the most crooked lines you've ever seen in a yard. It's embarrassing.
Hey, it's mowed. It's okay.
It's embarrassing from the neighborhood. But I don't mind doing any of that work. It's just time is valuable to me. And like an unaccounted for 3 hours in a day is like, oh man, now I can't do this. Now I can't do that. And it's just stuff like that's a little hard. But I mean, I don't know where we're going with this at all.
Yeah, we're just talking. But with that, I did want to say and maybe suggest to you, I haven't told you even this yet, but I thought it was good to say it on, we're not on air, but on air.
We're live, baby.
I think with that, with school being back in session, with the, we homeschool. So my Monday through Friday are extremely busy. And honestly, so is Saturday and Sunday. We are going to have volleyball and cheerleading on Saturday and Sunday. So even our off days are going to have things. We're probably going to go every other week on our podcast for the short future, at least until we can get caught back up between school and everything we're going to be due with helping Chris's dad in the short term. So I think maybe for at least the short future, that we'll be doing every other week. We'll have an episode instead of every week until we just kind of can get back in the groove of our school and get things settled with Chris's dad.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's a good way to not overcommit. Like I'd still be happy to get one done every week if we can find the time.
Yeah.
But if we can't find the time, I think it's good to not overcommit.
Yeah.
And not run ourselves ragged to try to get a podcast out in rushed form,
Yeah, like right now.
Kind of like what we're doing right now.
Right now. It's 9 p.m. and this airs tomorrow at 4 a.m. But it's because it's late and I don't have time to do all the video stuff. And also we're trying these new mics for like a quick one. Like we're just using my phone and these little mics, not like our normal setup. So if it sounds not as good, sorry. We'll know after this time.
The mics are lavalier mics and they are attached to paintbrushes right now.
Yes, they are.
So
we look so fancy. Too bad we're not on camera.
A couple artists over here, podcast artists.
But yeah, so for sure, we'll definitely try to get one out every week. But if you're one of our usual listeners and you don't see anything next week, check back the week after and we'll definitely have something. But just to give ourselves a little grace with everything we have going on right now, to not burn out and be staying up super late when I have to get up super early the next day. And so I can be level-headed and self-maintained for everything else that does come first in life.
She's got to get up early, make breakfast, and then get to the gym, most importantly, to start working on those glutes.
We do start our day with the gym most days. Every day but Thursday, we're at the gym by 8:30. So
gets to the gym at 8:30, 8:35, squats, 8:40, stair step to 9:40.
That's not true. Today was glutes day and I skipped it because we missed the gym yesterday. So I did my cardio today. And then so tomorrow, I don't even know, I'm off schedule. So it's been a long week.
It has been a long week.
And it's Tuesday.
Oh no. Why would you say that?
Yeah.
There's so much week left.
I know. All right. Well, that's all we got. So yeah, be helpful, help others. Go volunteer somewhere. Be there for your family, be there for your friends, be there for strangers, all in a safe way. And just remember, it will be fulfilling. Have your kids help. It's so easy for a kid to have a me mentality and just having them do things for others. And when they see the glow on the other person's face, and then you look back at their face, it does shine through. And it's good to show them, doesn't that feel good? And they'll be like, yeah, it did. And so, yeah, that's all we got.
Be helpful and keep an eye out for that one guy that hangs out at Subways looking for rides for phone chargers.
All right.
This has been
She Talks.
He Nods.
We did that differently. Look at us just doing things differently today. All right. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.